As somebody who's very distant, as a very distant person, a lot of people can misunderstand it. And people like us aren't really communicative. So I feel like when we get distant and we distance ourselves from people, it never has anything to do with anybody else. Anybody who are also distant can say that. I've been distant, feels like my whole life. But now more, I feel like I've become more distant. I don't know if that has anything to do with anything that I've dealt with or just me just becoming more and more distant. Just as I get older, I really don't know. That's more I have to discover about myself. For somebody who's distant, we don't really communicate that we're okay. Sometimes you will barely see us, sometimes we might not even text. There's a lot of things that distant people just learn to be better by ourselves. We only tend to be able to communicate better once we've had time to ourselves. And for me, whether I'm talking to people or whether it's friends, sometimes I might just go ghost for a few days, might not even say anything. It has nothing to do with anybody personally. That's just how I am, you know? And I think it's not a problem, but I think there needs to be a change for people like us. But I feel like it becomes more of a problem when you know that it could probably cause an issue with everyone around you, your peers, and etc. And even for you, it could take a bad turn. I feel like it becomes more of a problem when you start to accept it. You start to become too comfortable with it. Because when it comes to that, you could lose people, you know, that might not understand. And you can't explain it for not really understanding because you don't really explain that. But just know, distant people do care. They just have a hard way of showing. I can say this about a lot of my friends. They probably think, old friends at that, people that I grew up with, they probably think I don't mess with them no more. They probably don't. But I chalk it up as I'm just a very distant person. There's rarely times you'll actually see me out doing things unless it's like something I like doing. You know, I don't party. I mean, it's no point to party if you don't smoke or drink, and I don't smoke, nor do I drink. It's really pointless for me to be doing that. I'd rather do things where I'm more comfortable, that I enjoy, rather than doing things that I wouldn't really enjoy. So I feel like a lot of people like that nowadays. There's a lot of factors that plays into being distant, but when you realize, when someone sees that you're distant, they might take offense to it. There's no reason to take offense to it, whether it's somebody you're dealing with now, whether that's somebody you know, that's a family member, a friend, even a girlfriend or a boyfriend. Sometimes they're distant. Sometimes it can deal with, you know, something in their lives. Sometimes they just don't want to speak about it. As I'm a distant person, that means I really don't say much of my problems that I go through. Even if I'm not going through anything, still the same way. But, you know, as I go through things, I'd rather keep all of it, you know, just, especially off the internet, first. Two, I just keep it to myself, deal with it myself, go the right way about it, and do what I need to do to make sure I'm in a better place mentally. I'm not saying people can't help and stuff like that, but for me, I just feels better just for me to just keep it to myself and just work to get where I need to be mentally. So that's all I really want to talk about. Just wanted to make it, you know, just make a little video on distant people and the things that they may go through or why, you know. Sometimes there's just no explanation for it. That's just how we are. And maybe there is an explanation for it, yet we may not know because we haven't figured it out ourselves, you know. So if you're this person watching this, I've explained it for you. If you aren't a distant person and you know somebody who's distant, I've explained it for you. But that's not always the case. Don't get it confused, which is why it's very hard to read, because distant people, they aren't really good communicators. Don't get it confused. You know, sometimes you can get a person that's distant and you may think they're just being distant because of, you know, whether what they got going on, but sometimes it could be the complete opposite. They might not like you. You know, stuff like that. It's very hard to see. And me personally, I'm trying to work on it because I'm at the point where I find comfort in it. This is the year of reworking ourselves and becoming better versions of ourselves by the end of this year, and sticking to those things even after those years, or even after this year. You know, so yeah. But yeah, I appreciate y'all for watching this, and I'll catch y'all boys later and girls.